All right, everyone. Thanks for attending. We have Jake McKenzie, Coach Bohannon, and Johnny Yoder. Coach, start with some opening comments, please.
How y'all doing today? Appreciate y'all coming. Obviously, we're excited to be 1-0 in the conference. It was a heck of a win. As I said afterwards, I was proud of our guys, the way they fought. Obviously, we made a lot of mistakes, but we found a way to win, and that's most important. As we move on, we got a great challenge this week as we go up to a team that's won or had a share of 6 Big South Conference championships since I think 2007, and they've been on the road for the last 4 weeks, have not played at home. The last 2 outings have not been what the expectation level is for Liberty football, and they're at a point, their backs are against the walls, they're kind of at a rallying point, and they got a chance to play at home. Obviously they chose us for homecoming, so there's a lot of things in play here for our football team, but you know, I look at it as a team that's talked about, that's won the Big South that many years. We got a chance to go play a team in an environment, all right, is where we want to go. You know, we want to work our way down the road that 10 years from now you look back and talk about us in that manner. And I think sometimes you got to go to those places where right now they're between them and Coastal. 10 of the last 11 Big South championships have been between those 2 programs, and we got great opportunity and a great challenge to go play a good football team that's I know is going to come out ready to play after some, I would call some subpar weeks for Liberty standards, and I know they'll come out ready to play. There's probably be 20,000 people at the game. They draw really well. And what a great challenge, a great opportunity for our football program and our football team. And I know our guys are excited about it, and I know I'm excited about it. You know, it's just another opportunity to go improve as a program, improve as a team. And I think it's also a little bit of a time for us to go. It's a little bit of a measuring stick for where we are. You know, I mean, you got to look at it that way. You know, and so we're excited about the opportunity. It's going to be a great challenge. But shoot, you can't ask for any better. You're going to have a great crowd, and we're playing a team that's awfully talented and won a lot of football games over the years. They're really good at home. And you look at their record, I don't have them from me, but last several years, they've probably lost 3 or 4 games at home total. But they're really good at home. So what a great challenge, what a great opportunity, what a great way to go continue to move forward as a program. So I'll open it up for any questions.
Since you mentioned it, this being a measuring stick for where you are, where do you think you are right now?
I don't know, Doug. That's a great question. I think the great thing we've done, our football team has done, is we go get ready every week. We approach every game as that game. We don't get caught up in anything else, and we try to get better every day, and we find a way to go out. And the thing the guys have done every week that I've been awfully proud of, we play pretty hard. You know, and our kids, for the most part, it's not what we want it yet, what I call championship effort, snap in, snap out. But our kids play pretty hard, and we go fight, and our football team believes they can win any game. There's not a lack of belief of winning here, and so I don't think they feel like, you know, I think there's a little chip on our shoulder right now. About proving that we belong, that maybe we deserve a little more respect than probably we're getting. And maybe understandably so as a new program, I don't know. But, you know, the thing I've been proud of most is we've taken it week by week, and we go out and we compete and we play hard. Like I said, it hasn't been pretty all the time. And we've had penalties and self-inflicted wounds and different stuff happen, but we found a way to overcome a lot of that and found a way to win. So. You know, it's a, are we on schedule? Are we off schedule? Where are we? I don't know what the schedule is, if that makes sense. I don't really know what are we comparing it to. All I know is Kennesaw State football, and all I know is that we're getting better every week. And, you know, we kind of take it that way, and that's really all we talk about. You know, we're getting better every week. So, obviously, we feel very fortunate to be where we are right now, to say the least.
I was curious what had been the teaching points, considering it was 3 feet from a loss in a game that y'all dominated on Saturday. And not intercepting that ball right at the goal line?
Well, I think the big thing defensively, I thought we played pretty well until that last drive, and the quarterback scrambles around for about 15 minutes and makes a heck of a run. Then he lays a pass in a prevent defense. Both of those were kind of in a prevent mode. Not necessarily a prevent situation, but just in a defense we're going to try to wrap up, make a play, kill some clock, because that was on our side at the time. And but other than that, for the most part, defensively, I thought we did some good things. Offensively, majority of it self-inflicted. I mean, we moved the ball down. I think we probably had 2 or 3 false starts penalties. We had a blocking below the waist on a non-play. On a play that it's nothing we teach. You go back and look at all those things. If you can do those things a little bit better, we go to kick the ball off in a critical situation. The guy returns it, puts him in good field position. We go to kick it off late in the game, and it should be a squib. It looks like a onside kick. These are things that we can't afford to go up to Lynchburg, Virginia, and do these things. This is the best football team we've played. I'm talking offense, defense, but it's the best one we've played. And so what we got to do is get better on our end, of not making critical errors, especially at critical times. Obviously, offensively, they show up in the red zone a lot, it seems like, of errors that get us behind and off schedule. And those areas we got to get better at. And we point those out on tape. I think our guys are to the point now they would tell you that they know it before we get to it. They know before we get to the play. But I think it's also part of the process of growing up, Doug. This is part of the process. We're a young football team, and not that we accept it, but sometimes mistakes are made. We just got to continue to gain on it and see if we can get better at it.
Yeah, excuse me. You said it's going to be a challenge going up there, and a little lack of respect, chip on the shoulder. Is this a situation similar to what you told us when Edward Waters was coming in, where it's going to be the best atmosphere you play in front of all year. You got a chance to go out and prove something in somebody else's house, expand the recruiting base, all that stuff going to be on their TV. Are you kind of approaching it the way that you said if you were down at Edward Waters, that's the way you would have approached it coming in here?
A little bit. We got a pretty good environment at home, so I like our home environment. It's pretty loud. It's pretty good. I think our kids are going to feed on this environment. I think they're going to enjoy it. I think they're going to relish in the moment. I really do. I think it's liberty. It's liberty. We got a chance to go play a team that's been a better part of the Big South Championship for a long time. And I think that in itself is good enough. And obviously it's a big game for them, but I think that's as big a part of it as anything. As far as the best atmosphere, it's going to be a good atmosphere, which I think our kids will feed on, be good. But not completely to that direct, to that degree, maybe a little bit of that, John. But I think more of it is about it's liberty, it's about respect, it's about, that chip on your shoulder you talked about, and a chance to go play a team that was 2 rounds deep in the playoffs last year and defend a Big South champion. And that in itself alone ought to be enough. You don't need anything else, and I think our kids know this. They don't. It's nothing I have to tell them I do, but they know. They know. So.
Do you have any injury updates, and what position are you moving Jake to this week?
Injury updates, Dustin Moore will be out this week. He had a little meniscus. They took care of it Tuesday morning. He should be back hopefully in a few weeks. Other than that, we got some guys banged up. But as far as being out, I don't know that we're getting anybody back that was out. Most of the guys that are out are out for the season. There's other guys just banged up. What position you want to play this week?
Whatever you want.
Jake's going to do kind of what he did last week. He's going to be, in that role of, he's still the backup quarterback. He's going to play some 2-back for us as well. very similar role as we had last week. We let the game kind of dictate as we go once we get in of how things are going, determine that. But that's what we're going to do with him this week.
What do you think about it, Jay?
I love it. I just want to play. So put me wherever, and I'll go out and play. They can ask me to go play offensive line. I'll go out and play if they want me to.
When are you spending more time in practice? Which group are you with?
Probably now I have to take more with two backs to make sure I'm learning everything. But I still get some quarterback stuff with it.
And those two positions meet together and have since day one.
Okay.
So, and they practice together. So it's really not, there's a transition from physically going and doing it. Knowing it, he sits in those, he's been in the meeting from day one.
Okay.
So that part of it's not really as big an adjustment as you might think. Now, physically going to do it is different. But he had an idea what to do, but then as he's learned going and doing it, it's a little snap in, snap out, it's a little different, but he's transitioned pretty good.
You said last week that you presumed going into the game that Gardner-Webb's front seven was going to kind of take away that dive. So you weren't expecting a whole lot out of Jake or Trey because of that. What do you expect from Liberty?
Well, I mean, they're a 4-3 defense. You know, they got a defensive end, number 52, who's played a lot of football for them, is a good player. They got a couple inside guys. One's a 300-pound guy. I think the other's 270. But there'll be a 4-man front, and how they adjust their backers in the secondary, we'll see going into the game. We'll see how they kind of adjust to what they do. But we'll have to see. Gardner-Webb's defense was pretty stout. You got the preseason everything inside. We had to devote a lot of attention to him. So we don't know here. We'll have to see how it is when we get in the game and what they give us, what we can take advantage of, and then we play off of that and kind of go from there. So it's hard to say right now. They're awfully good on defense. They're long and they're athletic and they can run, and they're going to present a challenge for us on offense. So, but the way we kind of operate, it's sometimes we get in the game and we have to see kind of what tweaks they've made and what they're doing, and then we kind of go from there of what works best to move the football and give us a chance.
Johnny and Jake, how do you guys stay dialed in to the point when you guys enter the game, there isn't much of a drop-off between the starters and when you guys are playing?
You just got to stay locked in on every play. When you're on the sideline, you gotta be paying attention and just stay in the game. That's really it.
Yeah, I'd say we're coached to stay near the coaches and pay attention to the game, know what's going on. So if anything happens, you can step right in and pick that right up.
How difficult is it to have a 19-play, 83-yard drive?
And not score?
No, you guys scored.
No,
What you
and not
wanted to.
score?
Well, yeah. But how difficult is it, both offensively and defensively? How difficult is it when something like that is happening?
It's really good. If you're on offense, if you're on defense, it can put your running lights out, especially if you can go get 6. We were aided by a penalty that helped us, but sometimes when you have a 19-play drive, you need a little help. But that's something that is big for us offensively because we've struggled maintaining at times a drive over a long period of time or you know what I mean? Because we will beat ourselves. Meaning somewhere in there we would jump off sides or we'd have a holding or do something to set us back where we couldn't do that. So if we can do that and score 6 points, then I think it's awesome offensively, and I think it takes the lights out defensively to have to be out there for that long and for the offense to score. That's awfully tough to come back from on the defensive side of the ball. So we just got to find a way to score.
You've been coaching a long time. Can you remember any particular time when you've been on that defensive side where it just seems like they've used the entire quarter or anything like that?
Yeah.
What is going through your mind on the sideline?
Yeah, if you remember in Dayton, Ohio, same thing happened. In the second half, they took the game over, and their running back and their offensive line. I forget how long the drive was, but it was one of those, and I knew it was just one of those things. You know, right then you're like, we're doing everything we can, but we can't stop them. And we had one of those up there, and I mean, you try everything you can, you know, and it's tough now. It's tough. There's not much you can do. You know, you're dialing up everything you can on defense, and we did in that game as well, to try to stop them. And it's tough, and that's demoralizing. You know, it's not as, I mean, it just takes the wind out of you. So obviously, if we can do that, that'll be great. But that wasn't necessarily, you know, some people ask, was that our plan going in? No, it really wasn't. It's just the way it unfolded. And nothing came easy, as you guys watched. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot that was, we had to work for everything.
Have you ever had a longer, didn't y'all have like a 20-play, 99-yard drive at Navy?
We did, at Navy, we went and played in a bowl game out in San Francisco and played New Mexico. And we ate up a quarter. I think we ate up a quarter. Yeah, it's one of those marathons. And you can go back a little bit. It was Navy versus New Mexico in the Emerald Bowl. So that's a really last long one I remember. I mean, that was I forget how many. I don't know if it was 19 plays or not.
We wrote about it in the special
Yeah.
section. This is when the offense is working.
Yeah.
This is kind of what you might
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. We're not far from doing some things like we want to. I think a part of it's just week in, week out, you're getting to play and see different things, and you grow a little bit each week. And then part of it's just going to be maturity and strength, and you know, over time, it's not going to happen because we get mismatched sometimes just because we're young, especially up front. We're just young, and that'll get better as we go.
Well, 'cause you said that there's been some drives where you've taken yourself out because of penalties. It seems to me, and I don't know how well you know every statistic or anything, but you've already had 13 drives of 10 plays or more this season. You've done it at least once each game. Of those 13 times, you scored 11 times. Now, it's not always a touchdown, but you put points on them. Does it surprise you to hear that after the way that you've kind of said, you know, sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot? Considering the youth on the team?
Yeah, I think it's a positive. There's no doubt. Surprised or not surprised, I don't know. You know, I think it's a positive. It's something we were concerned about going into the season, just because we'd had a knack for shooting ourselves in the foot, and you know, so it's a positive. We can drive the ball. You know, and I want to score. Don't get me wrong. I'm out. Field goals are fine. We need to score touchdowns. You know, that's what we need to do to win. And I guess maybe I'm a little bit. My expectation level is probably pretty high because I mean, I've told these guys before, every play is designed to score a touchdown. And that sounds crazy, but that's the way we go about it. Now, we realize every play is not going to be a touchdown, but the expectation is when we line up, we have the opportunity to score. And so we just got to continue to work to. Those drives are good. They help the whole team because now Yoder and those guys in the course of a game are playing 50 snaps versus 70 snaps. You know, and if that's the way it unfolds, that helps our football team. At the end of the day, it's all about what's best to help Kennesaw State win, and that works. You know, and that keeps everybody fresher and gives us a better chance to be successful.
Jake and Johnny, I was curious if you could discuss what y'all learned about the fine line between winning and losing from Saturday's game against Cardinal Webb.
You want to start?
Yeah, I would say execution and effort are the two main things that come to mind when I think about that. You got to execute, you got to do your job, and then you got to play 100% effort every play.
Execution, like you said, and you got to score. Like Coach Bowen said, you got to score touchdowns, really. And field goals, it worked out in this game, but it won't work every time. You got to, when you get in the red zone, you got to score.
Jake, you guys had a couple of those long drives. In addition to the 19, you had a 14 and two 11s. I I'm sure you were on the field for some of that. Do you get a sense from the defense that they're kind of reacting like Coach said, uh-oh, here we go? I mean, was there anything that you could see from GW this week that they're saying, you know, we're doing everything we can, we just can't stop it?
You get a sense of that a little bit, and then it just gives the offense a lot of confidence, and that's what, and just keep building on that every play, and then that's how those drives happen.
Speaking of confidence, does it help knowing going into this week that you just beat the team that beat Liberty the week before 34-20?
It does, but we know that you can't really look at it that way. You got to go into the game prepared and doing and executing just like every other game. You can't look at who beat who, and if you beat somebody and they beat somebody that you're better. You just got to go in, play hard.
Do you think there's more pressure on you guys to follow up your first Big South win with a Big South road win, or do you think there might be more pressure on them, you know, being ranked number 15 and then dropping the first two conference games?
I don't feel like we have any pressure. I think we're going to play and we're going to go have some fun. And we're going to try to get better. And I don't know how these guys feel, but I mean, I don't feel any pressure. I think it's a great opportunity and challenge to get better as a program in a great environment. And, you know, shoot, let's go do what we do. I can't speak for Liberty. I'm sure they're under the gun a little bit after 2 tough losses. You know, all I can do is would put myself in their shoes. That'd be it's a tough situation to be in, you know. So, but I'm sure they're going to come out ready to go because of that, because of what's happened to them, because they're back home. And I know we'll get their best shot without a doubt. But I don't, and you guys can speak up, man. I don't feel any pressure. I think it's a great opportunity, great challenge. Shoot, let's go cut it loose, man. Go have some fun.
I assume that y'all heard that Liberty's quarterback guaranteed they're gonna win their remaining games.
Did you guys hear about that?
I did.
I figured you might have.
How did you hear about it?
Wasn't it?
And
I
what
think
is your reaction?
my roommate told me. It's just they don't respect us, and I don't like that very much.
Yeah, I heard about it through social media, and we're not too fond of that statement, so we're going to go try to prove them wrong.
I think they spoke pretty loud and clear.
Did you see the Rant Sports article that came out, I think yesterday, saying that Kennesaw State is the most successful college football program in the state of Georgia?
I did
at
not.
present?
I did not. I try not to watch and read that stuff too much. These guys. I try to keep them from doing it too, but I can't help that.
Last week you told us how tough Jake is. You know, how tough is Johnny?
I'm gonna tell you both these guys. I mean, Johnny started for us there, and he's been walking around. I mean, I was getting home yesterday. He's hobbling around in practice. He's got shoulder, knees banged up, but it hadn't changed his demeanor by the way he goes about his business at all. And it's interesting you bring that up, Art. I mean, these 2 guys sitting next to me, and these guys know I shoot straight. I don't. They're tough guys now. Both of them are, and I don't think there's anything you can do, you know, to keep them away from getting ready to play a ball game. And I think that's part of who we are a little bit, you know. And these guys are a big part of that.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Jake.
Mhm.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, man.